Former President Rodrigo Duterte believes that the 20 peso a kilo price of rice is only but a dream. In an interview with SMNI, Duterte said that the 20 pesos per kilo of rice, which was a campaign promise by President Marcos, is not realistic. Duterte said it would be better if the government will be the one to buy the staple first and sell it at a low cost to the public. The government has imposed a 41 and 45 peso price cap on regular and well-milled rice, which had begun on Tuesday. In other news, the PNP has sought the assistance of the Interpol in the manhunt for expelled Congressman Arnie Teves. PNP spokesperson Jean Fajardo said it is imperative for them to inform the Interpol as Teves is hiding abroad. The PNP also has tracker teams from local law enforcement units for Teves's co-accused suspects. This came after a court ordered their arrest over the murder of Governor Roel de Gamo and nine others last March. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris met on the sidelines of the 43rd ASEAN Summit, where they discussed security issues in the South China Sea. In the pull-aside meeting, Harris reiterated the United States ironclad alliance commitment with the Philippines. The two leaders agreed to continue working together to promote peace in the Indo-Pacific and strengthen bilateral maritime cooperation. Aside from those, Harris and Marcos also discussed opportunities to deepen their nation's commercial and economic cooperation. It's still not sure whether there will be a trilateral meeting between the Philippines, the U.S., and Japan, as previously mentioned by Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Babes Romualdez. Today is Marcos' last day in Jakarta, and he's set to hold talks with the leader of Cambodia, attend the ASEAN India and ASEAN Australia Summit before gracing the closing ceremony of the 43rd ASEAN. Still on the ASEAN, President Bongbong Marcos made headlines on Wednesday for going up to Chinese Premier Li Qiang during the ASEAN Summit. Marcos Jr. directly told Li Qiang during the ASEAN-China Summit that the Philippines is upholding its sovereignty in the disputed West Philippine Sea. The palace did say later, though, that the Philippines will continue pushing for cooperation with China and work towards more partnerships and cooperation.
We must emphasize that practical cooperation in the maritime domain can only flourish with an enabling environment of regional peace, security, stability, anchored in international law. The Philippines, therefore, continues to uphold the primacy of the 1982 UN Convention under the Law of the Sea as the framework within which all activities in the seas and oceans are conducted.
Li Qiang did not directly address territorial issues in the South China Sea during the ASEAN-China Summit, but he said China is willing to, quote, see common ground and set aside differences with ASEAN countries to handle disagreements. Li also warned of a new Cold War if conflicting countries do not appropriately handle differences and disputes.
管控分歧，当前很重要的是要反对选边站队，反对集团对抗，反对新冷战，要妥善处理国家之间的分歧和争端。
In sports, Kiefer Raveena is unlikely to see action for Gilas Pilipinas in the ASEAN Games later this month. Raveena is back in Japan to rejoin the Shiga Laker Stars build up for the new B-League season. Japan B-League teams are not obligated to release their players for the Asian Games since it is not a FIBA-sanctioned tournament. That's also the reason why other B-League boys like Dwight Ramos, AJ Edu, and Raveena's brother 30 all declined to participate. Raveena, though, is part of the 12-man list submitted by the Philippine Olympic Committee for the ASEAN, although by the looks of it, the entire list could be subject to change.
I've already expressed my my side nung before pa matapos yung World Cup na mahihirapan na ako maglaro sa Asian Games because conflict of schedule na talaga, and I have to be here for my team. By the looks of our schedule right now, I think I won't be able to play for the said Asian Games.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.